Good morning, everybody. It is October the 22nd, a brand new trading day, and we'll open today stuck in yesterday's range. And again, I think the direction of the E-mini will determine which way our markets trade today, but we won't break out and we won't break down because nothing has really changed. Why? The rally in the stock market, ECB intervention, why strength in the financials, interest rates stay the same, probably past March of 2015 into the second half of next year. So this rush to lock in your profits, your trading profits, and corporate bonds and treasuries has been at least tabled for a bit. We have a B pattern as far as TPOs go, and we've got a P pattern as far as the volume goes. And volume always wins. So I see basically a seller 127.28 to 128. And the buyer is either, depending on which way the stock market is either at 12 to 16 or 16 to 20. So we'll start out with it at 16 to 20, which will make our buy 17 to 21. Last night we wanted to buy 13s to 17s. The low was 16 and a half right off the opening. And we had a sell yesterday, failure. Take out the 20 to 24 area. Obviously, we got higher than that, but the buy was the first trade that was put on, and it served you well. 27 to 31 will be sell 1. 3 to 7 will be sell 2. And our buy number 2 will be 9 to 13. Today's news is that the market just won't pay any attention to it. It's CPI, unchanged, and what the Fed will get from this is that inflation's not a problem. We have to stimulate the economy more because they want inflation, and we can keep the interest rates as they are or do more pump priming. And so core inflation is seen at plus 1/10. Obviously, those guys don't buy food. Gasoline is moving in the right way, but through no help from our government policies that restrict drilling, although they'll take credit for it. Take credit for all the good, shift the blame for all the bad to other people. That's the name of the political game. All problems are solved by a speech or a grandiose plan. And if they don't work, give us more money and more people to make sure that it does work. I mean, it's just, if anybody can't see the inefficiencies of government, although a lot of time their heart is in the right place, I mean, you're blind. So here's the news for today, and you can see the inflation hasn't been moving the markets, and the only people who will pay attention to crude oil are the energy traders. And if this number comes in as forecast, that's a net negative for the stock market. No news out of Europe overnight. No news out of China or Japan. Hong Kong and Japan, two stock markets that are up overnight and holding their gains. Okay, the knob spread widened about 6 seconds last night. And again, we find that we're getting 6, sometimes 12 ticks of intraday swings, but it's not really breaking out of the plus 15 area or breaking down from the plus 15 area. Okay, looking at the 30-year, you can see the effects of the knob spread. Yesterday we left the 30-year wanting to sell Again, the 20 to 24 area based on that close. Market just blew right through it. We had a buy at 13.17 was the low. So stronger than we saw. And again, we have this bonds and notes are trading up and holding their gains, and the stock market has come roaring back. And again, if you're trading fundamentals, who's right about the economic outlook for the world and for the United States in particular, you'd go with the bond players. The stock market is being driven or levitated by other factors, namely a Fed intervention. And a lot of the corporate companies are revising downward their estimates for profits. Okay, resistance is at 4 to 8, so our sells 3 to 7. Stock market breaks big. We don't want to be short. We want to trade from the long side. We're at 31 right now, so 21 to 25 will be buy 1. And then 13 to 17 will be buy 2. A couple of articles were written yesterday about how IBM really kind of foretells what's going to happen to other companies. IBM had a $32 billion stock buyback program. Their corporate debt is $33.7 billion. And so they've vastly increased their debt obligations. And when revenues start to drop, as they inevitably can do, then you have to pay back all that money that you borrowed on lower revenues, and the first to get hit is your earnings per share. It's kind of like a well, duh, but you know, this temptation of having a AAA or AA or single A balance sheet and the ability to raise, not only to raise money yourself, but to borrow it very, very cheaply, is a temptation that's really, really difficult to pass up. I mean, you go through college learning about debt ratios and what makes for a strong balance sheet and the rest of it, and versus sales, and I can go out there and borrow at 0.5%, 0.75%, and you really exacerbate the problems if you borrow short term. Okay, looking at gold, first area to buy is 45. Second area is 40 to 42. It's holding in pretty well. The 50 area, plus or minus is sell 1, and in our 55 area, plus or minus is sell 2. So we see resistance at 50, 55, and support at 40 to 45 in a sideways market here too. I don't see that, unless the E-mini just really melts down, that given today's lack of news, that anything will shake up or stir or move the markets other than the direction of the E-mini. Some of the news that was out internationally overnight was that the United States, and I guess its allies, have seen Kobani, the Kurdish city in northern Syria, as a valuable propaganda piece, and are going to do everything they can to keep it from falling into the hands of ISIS or ISIL or whatever you want to call them. So there, you'll probably see more airstrikes and more logistical support for the Kurdish defense forces. Okay, right here we are at support at 90. So this 85 area, 75 area right down here is a pretty good let them go get stops beneath the overnight session. And then buy 2 will be 50 to 60. And then on the sell side, London peaks out at 37.40, so we're at 05 right now. This 20 to 30 will come inside it on sell 1 and back to our 40 to 50 for sell 2. The speculation now on what comes out of Europe, well, what did the ECB securities-wise and how much did they buy? And we get to find out come Monday. So that probably is a levitating fact for the European markets in and of itself and for the stock markets. If Europe comes out and their paper, which is supposed to be Italian and French paper, maybe different categories, and if the amount is too small, then people say, not enough QE right here. If it's a bigger than expected number, it can rally the markets further because they'll say they're really going to get out and support the market with this QE1. So what they've done effectively is keep the market on hold until next Monday in a trading range. Okay, crude oil plus 2.8 million barrels today. A couple articles out about Saudi Arabia's. One of them say $80 oil is okay. The other one says that they're not going to be talking about the price of oil anytime soon. So who knows? Looking at the structure, it's definitely a B, but you can see volume is higher. So we're going to make our first sell 83, 83.25, then 50 to 75 for sell 2. And we do have news today. On the buy side, we're going to give it a little room to the downside because of the news, 75 to 82, and then 25 to 50. And crude does trade to a different set of fundamentals that quite often aren't the same that drive stock and bond markets. And it's really more driven by exchange members whipping the price around and making sure that they are well compensated daily. Okay, the stock market, the low was 1813. You see we're a little bit higher, so we've got a very, very clean break down here in this 15 area. That P high to 28, so this 15 to 28 is the first little band of support. We break that, then it's this 1905 area. We break that, then it's back to the 88 to 95 area, right down in here. So we've had real strong rally off the low. Yesterday was the fourth day that was up. We were getting higher lows, so we got a higher low and a higher high. So the issue is, where is resistance? Well, the overnight session high that came 15 minutes before the DAX opened was 43.50, and we're currently at 35.50 last. Looking at the F2 screen, the last rotate down in M was 29. The last rotate down in L, 28.50. 27.50 in K, 24.50. So you can see that this 25 to 30 area is pretty good support. We definitely have a B with volume. So if I go from 43 down to this high volume number, 33, that's 10. That takes us down to this 23, 25 area. So we're going to put our preferred buy down here in this 25 to 27 area. Then we've got the single E print down here at 21, so 20 to 22 would be buy 2. Now, having said this, we've got the overnight session low, obviously, that has to come out to get there. So this MQ stops beneath that. That's where I think the play is. And we do have a B pattern. On the sell side, 39 to 41. and then 49 to 51 to get started. And we'll probably have to pull that second sell point in, but got to give it a little room to get started. The question mark is, does 30 hold or not? Okay, we may have to be buyers in the 30 area. We don't know yet, but I'm going to give it a little room to the downside, as I think the market will hunt and search for where support actually is.